How am I supposed to record if you're on the thing I record on? OuterOrange here, previous here. Welcome back to my channel, and in this video we'll be doing two shoujo manga particularly that you should try if you are new or want to just try out new manga. We are here today for that very reason. So first, before anything else, we should probably discuss what shoujo actually is. So shoujo usually means something that is towards a younger female audience, and because of that, actually a lot of people tend to mislook shoujo manga because they're like, oh well, this is meant towards like a younger 16-year-old audience that are usually females. Why would I ever want to read this? But alas, people, there's good stuff in the shoujo world. Not everything's about a high school teenager that's in high school trying to find love. I promise you there's more to it than just that. But we're going to be discussing two manga today, in particular, two that I enjoy, two that I would recommend to people who are just getting into this world, and two I would recommend to anyone who hasn't read these and should probably read these. And I will be showcasing what they look like, and I'll be discussing some comic strips and panels and all that lovely stuff. Both these mangas do have anime adaptations, so in case you prefer to just watch it, you can also do that. But we're going to first start with one called Lovecom, and the actual title is Lovely Complex or Lovecom. This is the title for the manga, and in the anime version it's called Lovely Complex. This is an amazing manga. It's pretty outdated now. Everybody should read this. This is super good. It's finished. Both of these will actually be finished. They're both finished manga, so they're both, and the animes are finished as well. So in case you're worried about them being uncontinued, they are not. They are finished. Once you start and you finish, you got the whole story out. Don't worry. So yeah, so we're gonna start with this one first. This is really good. I actually own the whole collection, and this is the collection right here. This is actually one of the first mangas that I officially owned all copies of, because it's just so worth owning every single copy of this, because it's just great. The only thing I don't own of this is the actual anime, and maybe one day I'll get around to owning the anime, but I've seen it so many times, and I've read it so many times that it doesn't even really matter. But pretty much this story is about a girl named Risa Koizumi and a guy named Otani, and there's a big comedy joke between the two because Risa is super tall and Otani is kind of short in the Japanese standards of what a tall girl, or what height like males and females should be. So pretty much these two are a constant duo because they're always fighting. There's a big comedy like oriented thing around them, and everybody in the high school that they're in just thinks they're really funny and humorous people, and they can't take them seriously, and they kind of start hating on it. The story just kind of starts from there. You meet the two characters. They are the main focus of the entire thing. There are side characters and friends that are pretty involved, but the main focus is Risa and Otani for sure. And there's a lot of character development, and this show and manga is super funny. Like the anime and the manga have scenes like this and scenes like this and scenes like this, but don't worry guys, there's also some deep stuff in there too, because it also has some really cute and amazing scenes like these and this and that, and it's just so beautiful. And they definitely make your heart pound in the cutest ways, because the relationship that builds between these two is just super cute and really lovely, and as the name Lovely Complex gives it. But a lot of people misjudge the name. Actually, it's not that. The complex word, it doesn't mean that the actual story behind it is complex. It's not. There's a lot of drama going on consistently. I would say that this is not on the drama side. It's definitely more on the comedy side. I would say if I have to rate, give this manga an actual genre, it would probably be like comedy and then romance and then everything else, because the comedy is definitely like the top tier, and it's like everything else after that. It's really good. And one thing that this manga also does, it also explores like what manliness is, and what love is, and how to deal with situations, how to love yourself to get other people to love you. Sometimes this manga really touches on and tries to like pretty much slap the reader in the face, like, hey, like this is a reality. Like sometimes you're not perfect, and if you're not perfect, like how do you get people to love you? Like what if you are too short, and how do you get around those types of things? Or if you are too tall, and how do you get around those things? And actually part of the reason why I got super into this anime is I used to know this girl. I'm still friends with her. I don't know if she watches my channel, but if she does, hi. But she was pretty tall in our grade, and she was also having like similar issues that the girl in this manga is having, where she always kind of felt like she didn't fit in, or she always felt too tall, or all these issues. And part of reading this manga made me be like, oh my gosh, like it's not hard to find love no matter how tall or short you are. And this manga really emphasizes that love is possible. Like in any, it's not about your heights, it's just about who you are. Who you are as a person, how you portray yourself, and how other people see you, more more so than your height, and your height is rather short or tall can make, you can make up with it with everything else you have of who you are. So yeah, that's pretty much Lovely Complex, and it's very good. I highly recommend it. I can't recommend it enough. Even it's pretty lighthearted. You can enjoy it and just have a great time. You can giggle your entire life away one afternoon while reading through all these. There are 17 volumes, so it is pretty lengthy, but getting through it is just such a blast. You'll get through it so fast you wouldn't realize you're like on the 12th volume by the time you get through it. So yeah, so that's Lovely Complex. And then another one that I want to pretty much recommend is Kamisama Kiss. I also own all 26, I think it's 26 volumes and an extra little volume that you can get on the 26th one if you purchase it, or I don't know, you could probably still get it now, but there's a little extra one that you can get, so technically 27, but the extra one is like this big. But yeah, it's really small. But anyway, so this is Kamisama Kiss, or as Japanese version, Hajinemashita Kamisama. And this is the full title of it, and pretty much Kamisama means God, and it's called God's Kiss, pretty much. And the reason why it's called that is usually you become a god through a kiss, or like usually a godly form you kiss on the forehead and you have the power of the god. But that's going a little out of the way here. But pretty much, so this manga is really oriented on Japanese culture. You really get to see Japanese culture and the beauty of fashion. Not that that's important, but the way people dress in this manga is actually really, really pretty. Part of why I really liked this one and what really sucked me in was the world that it's oriented around and just how beautiful the world that they create. The style, like the way it's drawn out, is very different from other styles I've seen. I used to be super into like the big eye Sailor Moon stuff, and then I read this and I was like, this is completely different. It's also shoujo, but it's just so well done. The main story is pretty much this girl, she's a protagonist, her name is Nanami, and she gets thrown into a situation where she gets thrown out of the house because her dad's a gambler and gambled all the money away. She's 16, she doesn't know what to do, she pretty much is outside, and somebody comes around and pretty much kisses her on the forehead and gives her, tells her where to go, and it's kind of very surprising and weird start to a show. But he tells her to go to a shrine, so she goes to the shrine, bumps into someone named Tomoe, who is a yokai, and yokai are usually demons. In this particular story, they're demons with powers. They're usually spiritual in some kind of way. They live in a different world, like the yokai world, and they kind of have their own thing, and they can come to the human world, but they don't appreciate humans. They actually really don't like humans and kind of look at them as below them. So they are like the better beings, and then there's humans. And now there's this human entering the shrine, and the yokai's like, what the heck is going on? She finds out that she's actually a god, and then he gets forced into a contract with her, and they pretty much have to work together, because every god needs like a yokai or some kind of like being with them. Like you can't run shrines pretty much on your own. You need like help, and so this yokai pretty much becomes her help, and their relationship just builds out, and the story builds out from here. And one thing I really like about this manga in particular is that it's not just focused on like these two characters. Lovely Complex is a little bit more focused on Otani and Risa, whereas in this particular, her name is Nanami and Tomoya, there's more focus than just the two of them. There's the spiritual world, the yokai world, there's this godliness that's oriented in the manga. There's so much more going on. There's actually even some dark parts in this manga that also are shown. There's definitely some spooky parts. There's a lot of comedy too thrown into this, not as much as Lovely Complex, but there is comedy. There's definitely some humorous scenes. I've definitely died of laughter quite a few times until things got serious. There's actually even a really good story going on around it. It's not just like this constant everyday like life of the shrine. There's so much more to it. It does have like a fruits basket feel to it and kind of an Inuyasha feel, but there's actually more going on, and more starts getting revealed as you keep reading and seeing that there's actually more. And there's so many characters, there's so many worlds. Like a yokai could be for anything. A yokai could be for thunder, for water, for a fox. Like there's so many different yokais out there, and you start seeing this beautiful world getting built out of all these yokais, and they do a pretty good job, especially towards the second half of the manga, where they really start showing all these different characters in this world and what this world is all about and what Nanami is to this world. Because remember, she's just a human, so she's actually really downed upon. A lot of people think that she just can't handle this, like she's just trash pretty much, like she's just this human that just got lucky in the sense of getting thrown into this world, and that she's just not good enough. And you get to see her grow and deal with these issues and deal with these like tests initially of how to become a Kamisama. And as you watch her develop, you watch Tomoyo develop, you watch everybody develop. One thing I really appreciate in this particular story is that everybody develops develop. So whatever character you see, there will be some kind of development behind them. Like you'll see them as one character and then they'll build into like another person. Essentially they'll build into like a mature version of themselves. That's something I really appreciate about this, because you don't get a chance, you really don't see this a lot in shoujo manga. Some shoujo manga out there is like super good, but they kind of lack on the whole character development. This definitely isn't one of them, and I like the fact that this kind of splits things up. You're not just getting that romance, you're also getting the story end, and it's pretty heavy on the story end too. Like you really get a good mix of everything. If you want some comedy, you want some action, you want some dark stuff, you want some love, you want some yokai, you get a good mix of everything. All the characters just look so amazing, and I mean, look at this cute scene. Look at this little cute guy right here. It's just so cute. The entire thing is really cute, and it's really well made, and it doesn't have that much love as it probably should have. It has more love than like some shoujo out there, but it definitely doesn't have enough love and needs more love. So yeah, you guys should definitely check this out. Here is my collection for it. I have all of it, so yeah. I'm kind of insane. I've also watched it like a ton of times because I have a problem and I love it so much. But anyway, you guys should check it out too. So that's pretty much the end of my little review of the two mangas that I would highly recommend as starting points, or even things if you haven't seen them or heard of these, you should definitely go out and watch them or read them, because they are so good. These are so good, guys. Like they're both pretty lengthy, but not super lengthy, but they're super enjoyable. Characters are super lovable. Everything about these is just super good, and you guys should definitely try them out if you're into this. Just keep in mind, don't let the whole teen romance type of thing put aside what the possibility of something really good can come out as, because yeah, there's like, yes, there's like a little romance in it, but it's just a lot more than just the romance in most of these cases. Like there's a lot of building and story development and really good stuff. And if you're even into like the whole spiritual aspect of like what Japan considers spiritual, literally just reading like Kamisama Kiss will get you to expose that end of the world. Like what do they consider spirits? What do they consider the dead? Like what do they consider gods? Like even that alone, like just the cultural aspect of just Kamisama Kiss is good. And in Lovely Complex too, just the cultural aspect of like tallness and shortness, like how people view it, how people see it, even that like can also just open up a whole new world of how to look at the world. So that's why I think these two manga are just super good to start with. They're pretty simple enough to where you don't have to completely invest, or you don't have to really understand every panel to panel. Like they're simple enough to where you can read them and understand them, especially for beginners who are just getting into understanding how to read manga, how to watch anime. I think these two are simple enough. The words and the complexity of these mangas isn't super detailed. There's some manga that just has like text and text and text and text, and there's just so much stuff going on. These mangas, both of them in particular, don't really enter that super texty type of world as much as like some shonen out there do and horror out there do. So for starting, and even for mid-level people who are like weebs, I guess, like when you're from starting to like mid, these are really good stories to get into that won't completely overwhelm you. So that's pretty much the end of my video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys liked all the little stuff. I hope you guys got something out of it. This is something new that I'm trying out. I really want to show my love for manga. As you guys can tell, I do love manga quite a bit. I love art style. I love reading stuff. I love trying new things. I'm actually not just a shoujo manga reader. I know from the back it kind of looks like I'm just a shoujo manga reader, but a lot of stuff I actually read online. This is just the stuff that I collect that I know I can get a hand. I am in America, and being in America kind of gets me. I don't have access to everything that Japan has to offer, but I just get as much as I can, as much as I can find, and all that stuff. So I'm just building it out. I just love shoujo. So with loving shoujo, I do preferably buy the shoujo stuff because that's just my main focus, but I also read like horror and shonen and mystery and all that other stuff out there too. Same with watching it as well. So I really want to express like stuff I find. I recently found a manga not too long ago, and I want to express that manga as well. So hopefully I'll be able to express some of these with you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative, and I hope for those of you who are out there just starting out will find something good and tell me how you feel about these manga, whether you like them or dislike them, or experience you've had, or who you shipped, or all that wonderful stuff of the manga world and things that you can do. Hope you guys like this video, and I will see you guys in another video. Please like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Please share, get my video out there. I'm trying very hard to do as much as I can to be as informative as possible. Hope you guys have enjoyed the content, and I'll see you guys in another video. Peace out, and das vidanya. Bye.